Good. So today I'm with Carol Edmondson. Because I used to call you Caroline, it's Carol Edmondson. And what we're going to be talking about today is very interesting because one of the most controversial and also talked about health products of the 21st century is cannabis oil. And I say 21st century, especially 2019, because it's something that's becoming more and more popular. And a lot of people would have heard of cannabis oil, but not many people understand the benefits. And when some people talk about cannabis oil, they think about the stuff you smoke, weed and things like that. Obviously, they're not the same. We're also going to be talking about anti-aging products, and we're going to be talking about detoxification products. Now, this is something, so some of the most popular products out there at the moment are cannabis oil, detoxification products, and also very, very popular at the moment are anti-aging products. Now, this has caused a lot of confusion in the health, fitness, and well-being industry. As with everything, there's products that are basically rubbish, and then there are other products that are science-backed and have been proven to be very effective. Now, this isn't really something I know that much about, to be honest, but I'm privileged to be speaking with Carol Edmondson. Now, she has extensive knowledge in this field, and she's kind enough to dedicate 20 minutes, we would say, maybe half an hour, ironing out a lot of the things that confuse us at the moment about these products. So I'm going to head over to Carol Edmondson. You tell me a little bit about yourself, what you do, and what got you into this in the first place.
Okay. So thank you, Jonathan. Well, I'm Carol Edmondson, as Jonathan has just said, and also I'm a natural health advocate. And what got me into looking at alternative protocols for health issues was my husband's one of 7 boys, 3 with prostate cancer. So when the youngest was diagnosed with prostate cancer at age 47, I then started looking at and researching the truth about cancer. And I was introduced to Ty Bollinger's The Truth About Cancer documentary series. And that's how I got started in this, made lots of contacts from people who were treating themselves or loved ones for cancer using alternative protocols. And one couple in particular put together, or the wife of the couple, put together a dossier of everything that was used for her husband, who was only given 18 months to live without surgery. 6 years on, he's still alive, no pharmaceutical drugs, no chemotherapy, no radiotherapy. So that's how I got started in this. And it just built from there. I myself had an energy issue illness for 9 years. And since taking 2 of the products that I now promote and sell, I have been out of that situation. So it's my why, it's my mission, helping other people to get the benefit of vibrant health and vitality through using natural methods, natural products, things that were created for us to use. So, yeah.
That's fascinating. It really is. You've obviously got a little bit of a background in cancer research. How do these products help you reduce the cancer risk or even treat cancer, reverse it in some cases?
Okay, this is where it gets difficult because compliance-wise, I'm not allowed to say any of these products can heal or cure. Okay. Because they are not drugs. So I cannot make that statement.
Okay.
I have found things that have helped, where we're looking at seed-based nutrition, things that reduce oxidative stress, a plant you can pick from the ground, but I cannot associate them with any disease for compliance reasons. Because
no, that's understandable. But I mean, we could certainly say that they reduce cancer risk. I think that's a fair statement.
I mean, again, fruits and vegetables, like to commit to that.
Well, fruits and vegetables we know reduces cancer risk. It doesn't mean that if you take fruits and vegetables, you won't get cancer. But
Okay.
because it kills off a lot of the free radicals and the toxins, etc., etc.
Hmm.
The antioxidants and all that. That we know that reduces the risk, but we can't say obviously that it's going to cure cancer.
You're
Yeah. So I think when it comes to these products, the detox products, which you're going to talk
hmm
about a bit later, um,
hmm
how do they work? Because I think that's what most people really want to know is, first of all, how do they work, and why would they want to invest in them if they're going to purchase them?
Yeah, there are many things. I mean, I used to use Dock of Detox, which is a tea with lots of herbs, which I used to get from Canada. Um, and the benefit of that particular one is that it helps with weight loss too. So you're removing a lot of the stuff from the intestines, which can build up and rot inside of you. So that's one of the reasons why we need to detox, because if we're not eliminating, shall we say, the foods that we are eating, it's building up in our gut, which could cause illness, ill health in the long run, and a lot of other things.
Hmm.
Now, there are other products which will help you detox heavy metals from your body and your
Okay.
brain.
Yeah, this is something that I
And
was reading about earlier, the zeolites.
absolutely, because for our viewers, our body can store aluminium, chromium, cadmium, arsenic, mercury, lead. All these things we get naturally on a daily basis. So arsenic is found in the food that we eat, air pollution, the water we drink. Mercury is found in fish. It's found in the silver fillings. Now, I know you may not agree with this
Yeah.
as you're a dentist, but let's just run with it.
Okay, no, fair enough. Yeah.
And fluorescent light bulbs. So that's where we can find mercury. Now, mercury affects the brain, immunity, and kidneys. Also, the arsenic affects brain, heart, skin, and cancer. Lead is found in water from our taps. It's also found in food and old paint. Now, it affects the brain, our bones, our liver, and our kidneys. The aluminium, I mean, definitely in our tap. The water authority that I'm with, I actually asked them to send me a breakdown of everything that comes out of my water through
No
my tap
way. Okay.
way. And anyone can do this. They will actually send you this information. And aluminium is found in water, food, medications, and of course, not forgetting tin foil. It affects the brain and bone. Chromium is found in water, food, and industrial pollution. Now, it's interesting, at the last exhibition I did, there was a gentleman there. I was explaining the nanozeolite product, and he said he's got chromium because he used to work in a steel factory. Now, chromium is through heat, excessive heat, and he recognized that this is one of the things he's got. It's obviously been diagnosed with it. And cadmium is found in food, air pollution, and cigarettes. It affects the heart, kidneys, and bones. So you can see all these things that are building up in our bodies, we need to release in some way. Now, the nanozeolite will remove these heavy metals as well as other toxins from our cells.
That's fascinating.
Sorry?
That's fascinating. So basically, it bonds with these heavy metals, doesn't it? Once you absorb it orally,
Yes.
and then after that, what happens after that? Does it just go in your waste, or what?
Well, I can't pronounce it. This particular zeolite,
Yeah.
research has been done on it. It shows it selectively binds to toxins,
Yeah.
including these heavy metals and volatile organic compounds as well. And it helps to balance the body's pH, which is considered good. It breaks it down and we can eliminate it. It acts like a magnet to attract the heavy metals and positively charged toxins in and onto a crystalline structure. So once it's bonded, if you like, it can then break it down.
All right.
Now, the zeolite delivers in-depth detox. So we're not just, clearing out what's in the intestines. It's eliminating in-depth. It uses proprietary, and this is where it gets technical, sound wave technology. Zeolite particles are sized in nanometer range and suspended in water molecules. Because this is suspended in water molecules, it's able to travel through our body. So it's a fast-acting detox mechanism.
Okay.
And the one I use is colorless, odorless, and tasteless. And you apply 4 sprays 3 times a day into the mouth. That's it.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. How long have
Very
you been
easy.
using it for?
I have been using it for, let's say, just under a month.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. Okay. And this is a silly
This is
question, but have you?
the latest addition to my
Yeah.
my protocols.
Okay. And I mean, have you noticed any differences in the last month since you've been using it?
Obviously, I've noticed a difference
Mm.
in what's coming out,
Mm.
and also clearer thinking as well.
Mm. Yeah, I can imagine that. I can imagine that. That's really interesting. That is. So, what's how if somebody's interested in purchasing this product, where would they go to find it?
Okay, this 100% natural detoxification method is called Pure Body Extra Strength. Pure Body Extra Strength. And the website they go to is Revitalize with a Z, spelled with a Z, revitalize.thegoodinside.com. So revitalize with a Z .thegoodinside, all one word, .com.
Okay. Well, what I'll do, I'll put a link at the bottom.
Yes, please.
Okay. What I'm also been really interested in is the cannabis oil. Now, this is something a lot of people, and I say a lot of people, have been talking about cannabis oil in the last, say, year or so. It's become very popular. And when I first heard of it, I just thought, well, I can get some from down the road. You know, my mate Dave, he sells me weed and stuff. That's a joke. But I mean, you know, I'm thinking cannabis. I'm thinking the stuff you smoke, and obviously, cannabis oil is not necessarily the same as cannabis. So I know that you're an expert at this, so maybe you can explain the differences and the benefits of cannabis oil.
Okay, so we have 2 species, marijuana, cannabis from marijuana, and cannabis from hemp.
Okay.
So the one that I deal with is cannabis from the hemp plant, which has only trace amount of THC, whereas marijuana has a high amount of THC. Marijuana is illegal
No, one
here.
second. What's THC?
Tetrahydro. Sorry.
No, but I mean, what is it like? I mean, like most people, or some people, I should say, won't know what that is. Like, is that?
It's one of the cannabinoids found in cannabis. There are
Okay.
over 100 cannabinoids. One of them is THC. If someone takes THC from the marijuana plant, they could get a psychoactive effect.
Is that
But
like being high or something?
yes,
Okay.
yes, and it will definitely show up in a drug test.
All right.
You
Okay.
know, your mood may be changed,
Mm.
but cannabis from the hemp plant has trace amount of THC.
Mm.
In the US, the trace amount that's legal is 0.3% in the full spectrum, which has all the cannabinoids. In the isolate, which is just pure CBD, all the other cannabinoids have been removed, including the THC, the terpenes, the minerals, etc. Now, when we take CBD oil as a tincture, it's applied underneath the tongue. You hold for 2 to 3 minutes before swallowing, so it goes directly into the bloodstream and not directly into the stomach. If it went straight to the stomach acids will destroy the potency of the oil. So when we actually take it, we're bringing our body back into homeostasis. which means we are balancing everything again. So you don't have to have a health concern to use cannabis oil. I take it as a preventative and also to balance everything that's inside.
Okay, so in a way, would you say it has like a detoxifying effect on the body? Or when you say balancing, you're referring more to, because I know you mentioned homeostasis, but
Yes,
how would that benefit from a health point?
that just means it's balancing everything in our body. So we've got CB1 receptor in our brain and CB1 and 2 running throughout our bodies. So when we actually take cannabis oil, we are activating those cannabinoids that we have been created with.
So,
So,
okay.
mhm,
So a simple question, what would be, there's person A and person B.
yeah,
Person A takes the cannabis oil, person B doesn't take the cannabis oil. All other factors being the same, how would they differ?
well, again, this is getting into, they will see an improvement
Hmm.
in
In other
their,
words, let's say that okay, let's make it. I've never taken cannabis oil in my life. I start taking cannabis oil. What kind of improvement can I expect in the next month or two?
right,
Or even
okay,
long term?
if you're not taking it to treat something,
Hmm.
sometimes we can take supplements and we can take things that we know are good for us.
Hmm.
But if we don't have an ailment to start with, you won't see necessarily, you may see increased energy, okay,
Okay.
but you may not see anything other than that if you're not treating something.
Okay.
As I say, I take it as a preventative. It helps me with my sleep um, in a natural way.
Hmm.
It also helps with that feeling of energy. It's difficult without having to name things. If you,
So would you say that, for example, let's say that, I'm assuming I'm taking all other factors out of the equation here. So no gym,
mhm,
you haven't changed your diet or anything like that.
yeah,
And you start taking the cannabis oil. Would you expect your energy levels to go up and you sleep longer or more deeply? Are these the
more deeply,
benefits?
definitely more deeply.
Okay.
Even if you have less hours sleep, you wake up feeling more refreshed.
Okay, that sounds good.
So some of the things I can use, um, healthy blood sugar,
Hmm.
healthy cholesterol
Oh, is
levels.
that because of the balancing out effect?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Um, aging joints. I have to be very creative in how I describe the benefits that people are actually receiving from it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I understand there's always that disclaimer that, it's
Hmm.
not a drug and we can't, but I think for most people, they're going to want to know the benefits. You may not necessarily say that it's going to be on the same level as a prescribed drug from a doctor, for example, but the benefits are going to be quite obvious, I think.
Yeah, healthy
I do,
cellular
I do know,
regeneration.
yeah, I do know a few people taking the cannabis oil, and
Hmm.
they all swear by it. They all say that the one thing they say is that they sleep better. They have a much better quality sleep, and as you know, sleep is extremely important for repair and high energy levels during the day and things like that. Uh,
Hmm.
and I have spoken to a couple of people who actually mentioned that their energy levels have gone up. And I always found that to be quite confusing because I'm still thinking of the weed, you know what I mean? That's when but I know that it's not obviously the same. Because obviously I know most people who take weed, it's the other way around. They usually end up tired and sleepy all the time. But the few people I know who do take cannabis or have,
Unfortunately, I can't compare
yeah,
it to that
exactly.
limitation.
But it's something that I've heard a few times is that they sleep better and the energy levels go up. So
Yeah,
there must be something in that. Yeah.
and it can also eliminate discomfort in the head, um,
Okay.
vibrant skin, hair, and nails.
Mm.
There are lots and lots of benefits, and if people weren't seeing the benefits, I wouldn't be having people coming back to order more.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? That's
returning. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Again, what I'll do is I'll put a link to where people can get these products at the bottom of the video,
Okay.
and the link section as
And
well.
they can contact me anytime, on a one-to-one.
Okay, so
We
I'll
can
put your
have that
details on as well.
discussion.
Yeah, if you just say now how someone can contact you.
Yes, they can contact me via email and via the website. So email, it will be Sedmondson, CEDMONDSON 34@gmail.com. So that's CEDMONDSON 34@gmail.com. Telephone 07946492770.
Okay.
And would you like the website here or just wait till you post it?
You might as well give the website as well, but I will post it.
Yes.
Hmm.
Website address is cbd.carolnaturalhealth.com. cbd.carolnaturalhealth.com.
That's brilliant. There was one other question I had about the cannabis oil. Are there downsides to it?
The cannabis oil from hemp, you cannot OD on it, overdose on it.
Hmm.
It's a pure oil. Certainly, I can only speak for the oil that the company that I'm affiliated with their oils. They come with, they're batch tested. The soils are organic, non-GMO certified. So there's no heavy metals, there's no mold, there's no toxic pesticides. It's important to know what we're putting into our bloodstream, so buyer beware. Again, I can advise and alert people to what to look out for, irrespective of where they buy their CBD oil. Ours come in 3 strengths now. So we have 500 milligrams, 750 milligrams, and also now recently launched 1500 milligrams, both in the isolate, so pure CBD, or in the full spectrum.
Okay.
And there's no downside, as I say.
No downside.
It's pure enough for babies to take, nursing mums, but obviously the dosage will be lower, smaller.
Okay.
Or the serving size, shall we say. It's not a drug, so I shouldn't say dose, but the serving size should be smaller.
Okay. That's interesting, that is. And the third thing I really want to talk about is the anti-aging products. And you can tell the people who are listening, or actually watching, if you don't mind, how old you are, because you do look much younger than your actual age.
I will be 64 in December, this December.
64.
So yeah,
That's incredible.
64. But I am full of energy. I just love life. Life is for living. And yes, there's a particular thing that I'm using. Things, should I say. So one of the things is a product which decreases and reduces oxidative stress by 40% on average in 30 days, and that's been scientifically proven. Now, oxidative stress, if left unaddressed, will cause free radical damage and can alter our DNA. Now, that's the medical term for when we start rusting on the inside. Once we hit 20 upwards, we start to rust. And the medical term, as I say, is oxidative stress. When you bite into an apple and you leave it, it goes brown. The same with our bodies if, we don't address this oxidation.
Okay.
What it also does, it activates our built-in antioxidants. Now, people say, you can supplement your antioxidants with dark berries and different foods and stuff. But the thing is, activating is 1 billion times more powerful than supplementing. So, yeah. And also, free radical damage can accelerate the aging process.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think on a side note, that's one of the reasons why cigarettes age people so much because there's so many free radicals which are produced after smoking when you smoke a cigarette. And conversely, that's why a lot of fruits, if you eat fruits and vegetables, they contain antioxidants, and that kind of mops up a lot of the free radicals. So that's why people say if you stop smoking, if you are a smoker, you eat more fruits and vegetables, then that will have an anti-aging effect on you. And I've actually started using, it's a product called Protandim. There you go.
Yeah,
And I've
that's the
started,
secret
yeah,
juice.
I've started to use that actually myself in the last couple of weeks. And I think you're supposed to take it with healthy fats. You were saying
Yes, you are.
today,
A healthy fat, which could include avocados
avocado.
or healthy omega-3. Now, you can get omega-3 through fish. However, you know, fish these days contain a lot of
Heavy
metals
metals.
like mercury and stuff.
Mm.
The stuff that they dump in the sea, the fish is then ingesting. And if you eat fish, you can, what's the word I'm looking for? You can also take that into your system.
The mercury.
Mercury, yes.
Yeah.
And any of the plastics, anything
So that's
like
the
that.
thing, 'cause I eat fish almost every day.
Is it
So
wild caught or farmed fish?
it's farmed fish, but I try to, because I mean, I actually wrote this in my book. There's around, I think, 30 or 40 types of fish.
Yeah,
And I think the fish that are more closer, that hang around the bottom of the ocean, they tend to have a higher heavy metal content. They're contaminated,
concentration.
should I say, contaminated more with heavy metals.
Yeah,
So I try to eat the lower percentage fish. I'm messing up my words. The fish with the low amount of mercury in it, but because I eat almost every day the fish, this is something that I'm quite aware of, which is why I wanted to talk about the heavy metals, zeolites. I want to talk about
yeah,
this, which we already mentioned, because I'm pretty much at risk of that. And obviously, I think if you're going to be taking this product, which I always forget the name of, it's Protandim. If you're going to be taking it with the omega-3s, you can either take the omega-3s as a supplement, right?
yes.
Or
How
you can
I
take it with
take it,
fish. Yeah.
I'm not a fish person. I don't like fish.
Oh, okay.
As a child growing up, no, 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 no. So with the Protandem NRF2, commonly referred to as the little yellow pill, I take that with the company's Omega Plus, which is a healthy omega-3 fatty acid.
That's right. Yeah.
If you don't have that, you could also take it with a healthy butter. Now, I use butter, but from grass-fed cows, organic grass-fed cows, butter from such. Brazil nuts. So that's just, a few examples. But
So
the
it
thing
doesn't have to
is,
be omega-3 then. It can just be.
sorry,
It doesn't have to be the omega-3. It can be other fatty products, fatty.
yes, but we all need omega-3.
Yeah. No, I'm
Um,
more referring to because I remember you said that for the Protandim to work,
mhm,
it has to be taken with fat,
a healthy fat, yes,
a healthy fat. Okay.
correct.
Okay.
So
So
that's why
the
I'm giving
healthy
the
fat doesn't have
options.
to be the omega-3. It can be another healthy fat.
Yeah, absolutely. However, um, again, omega-3s are beneficial for us. So
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%.
I would normally say to someone, toast butter to accompany the Protandim,
Mm.
or
Mm.
Brazil nuts, or you know, some people take fish oil.
Mm.
Um,
Mm.
mm, Not for me.
No, of course, yeah. I mean, the same with vegans as well. I mean, the I was saying that I did a talk. I think you came to that talk, didn't you? It was around
I
a year.
did one of yours, yes.
Yeah, and it was a talk for vegans, and the importance of having the omega-3s if you're vegan. There's algae available. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
usually it's in the form of a supplement, but that might be quite good for vegans if they don't want to take the fish oils, which obviously they can't. Um,
Yes,
there's the algae. Also, you said that your company sells the omega-3 supplements as well, don't they?
They do, and there's no fish burp.
Brilliant, brilliant.
That's why I can take it.
Okay, that makes sense now. That makes sense.
Even if you bit into it by mistake,
Yeah,
there's no fish burp.
brilliant. So again, I'll have a link for that as well on the video. But I mean, that really is what I wanted. Is there anything else that you'd like to?
Yes, because there's a lot of things associated with, shall we say, active aging, as opposed to anti-aging, active aging.
Okay.
Our mitochondria as well. You know, our mitochondria is the energy powerhouse of our cells. So if that starts declining, we lose energy, and it also will accelerate the aging process as well.
Okay. So what's the solution?
The solution is Protandim NRF1. And, you know, I mentioned 2 products that took me out of this energy-related health issue that I had for 9 years.
Yeah, did you mention that, by the way?
I did earlier. I couldn't name what it was.
Okay.
So that's why it's just down to an energy-related, a very debilitating energy-related health issue.
So are you saying that the Prodandium got you out of that problem?
Yes, the 1 and 2. So
Wow.
the one that works on mitochondria dysfunction and the one that reduces oxidative stress. And I've been using both of those for near on 18 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so just out of interest, before the 18 months, that's when you had this energy deficit?
Yes.
Okay. Wow.
For 9 years.
And just to mention, you haven't been doing any more exercise since then or anything like that. It's just literally been the Protandium and the
Protandim 1 and 2.
Yeah.
NRF 1 and 2.
Okay.
When it comes to exercise, I have a small rebounder, which I use now and again. But I joined for the very first time a gym.
Brilliant.
No, listen. I joined this gym at 63, never been to a gym before,
Wow.
but I only used it for a short while. And one of those times, I suddenly thought, I don't really enjoy it. I used to go by myself. So now what I do for my workout, besides the rebounder now and again, I hasten to add, I go to salsa classes on a Monday evening. And if I do 2 hours worth, I really feel as though I've had a workout. And it's dancing is something I enjoy. So, you know, it's a win-win for me.
That sounds perfect. You know, 'cause I always say that, you know, if you don't like the gym, then it might not be for you. Because I think you have to enjoy it to some degree at least.
Yes.
So, you know, it's more important to do something that you enjoy and that you see yourself doing on a regular basis, as opposed to doing something you really hate and then you can't keep it up or you hate going and you know what I mean? So, but I think it's incredible that your energy levels have gone up and you haven't been going to the gym that often in the last
Well,
8
I stopped going to the gym, full stop.
Oh, you don't go at all now? It's
Nope.
you just do the salsa and that's it, isn't it?
Yeah. I cancelled my gym membership.
Okay, wow. That's incredible. So, again, I mean, it's something I'm really interested in because it's the problem I've always had with I don't want to call it a supplement, but the problem I've always had with supplements on the whole is that there's a lot of supplements out there that just don't work. And many years ago, I used to sell. There's quite a few supplements I used to sell, which I'm not proud of. I'm going back quite a few years. There was all I'd call it pseudo research. So I don't want to name the product. Okay, I don't want to get in trouble, but there were products out there which had a little bit of science backing to it. But when you look beyond the superficial, you realize that it was actually ineffective in the real world. So on paper it worked, but in reality it didn't work. So the first thing when you mentioned this to me, the first thing I did is I went and started researching it. And I was quite amazed how many studies there were. I think over 300 studies Podandium and what's the other one, zeolite as well.
Mm-hmm.
Over 300 studies, and all from very credible sources like PubMed and things like that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to include a link to some of these studies. So if anyone's thinking about looking into these products, there'll be some links available, and you can research it yourself. But yeah, I mean, look at you, 60. How old are you? 60.
64, practically.
64. Yeah, and you look like you don't even look like you're 40. So that's something there. That's great. That is. Is there anything else
I always say I'm a walking testimonial
you are?
of the products I promote and sell.
100%, 100%. Yeah, and I mean that's the thing. I think the fact that you don't even train that much, and you still look very young is incredible.
And I'm a size 10.
Okay, well that's it. You can't beat that, can you?
Hey.
That's great. So, is there anything else you'd like to mention?
I think it's important to, we talked about water
Mm.
and we talked about fruit and vegetables, but I think it's important to understand that we need to be drinking distilled water, or I'm not talking about a Brita filter. That's not proper filtration. I'm talking about we need to be drinking water that is purified, where we can get rid of all these harsh chemicals. And you may think going to a plastic bottled water is the answer. It's not, because the plastic bottles, the chemicals will leach into the water from those bottles. You don't know how long they've been hanging around. You don't know whether they've been in heat, where they've been stored, unloading, whether they've been subject to sunlight for lengthy periods of time. You just don't know. But definitely either water distiller, which you can get on Amazon. I actually have a Kangen machine. But unfortunately, when I bought it, at great expense, I didn't realize it didn't take out certain things. I now have the filter, which will take out practically everything. But yeah,
Really? Okay.
yes, yeah.
So, what about I know I've had a lot of people try to promote the water in the glass, the bottled water. That's what's the word I'm looking for? Not the
In glass
non-plastic.
bottles?
Sorry.
Yes, in glass bottles.
Yeah, the glass bottles. Yeah, because of the I think the xenoestrogens that you can get from the plastic. And as you said, when it gets hot, the plastic or the xenoestrogens can kind of make their way into the water.
Yeah.
And so that was an advantage of the glass bottles. But I'm assuming is that not good enough? No.
Well, providing the water where it's coming from is
Okay.
pure to start with.
So these purifier, how much are they? Like if I
Uh,
wanted to get one tomorrow, how much am I looking at spending?
Between 150, well, say from 150 pounds upwards
Okay.
on Amazon, water
Okay.
distillers.
And then someone has to fit it for you, do they? Or can you-
No, it should come with instructions. If you've got a Kangen water machine, then you'll have to have a plumber fit it for you.
uh,
It's a desktop machine that
hmm.
does pH from 6 to 9.5.
Okay. Okay.
And also you can use the higher level for sanitation, wiping down your shelves to avoid these chemicals, cleaning aids that's out there. And also, if let's just face it, to get a full variety of organic produce is expensive. And two, there isn't the whole range that you can get that's non-organic. So, we talked about eating fruit and vegetables. It's important, but you're still taking in the pesticides into your body. Now, I will only eat seeds of fruit that are organic. The seeds in the fruit that we buy can be 20 times more powerful than the flesh of the fruit, but only eat the seeds if it's from organic produce. Otherwise, the pesticides will go into the oils of the seeds, and then you ingest that. So that's a lot worse.
I think that's always been the argument is I have a very, very good friend of mine who only eats organic. And I've seen the price on how much money they spend each month. It's a lot.
It is a lot.
Because I mean, there's the argument of the meats. You can get organic meats. You can get organic fruits, organic vegetables. Everything's organic, but
Hmm.
you know, I always think to myself, it's quite pricey.
Yeah, it
Um,
is. Let's
and I
face it,
think,
it is.
is it really worth it? That's always, I'm playing devil's advocate here, really, but
Hmm.
I'm
Hmm.
thinking if I only live around the corner from Tesco's, I can go and pop and buy some oranges or whatever. But I think when you mention the benefits and the cumulative level, I can understand where you're coming from now. Because it's not just one thing, is it? It's like it's 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 like you got the pesticides, you've got
Hmm.
heavy metals or whatever it is. It all kind of adds up over time, and it has that kind of aging effect over time, doesn't it? So I can understand that. I always think if you got zero and you got 100, and 100 is everything's organic, and zero is you're just living off McDonald's, you know. And try to go for maybe 80, 90. You know, you can probably have, um, you know, shop at conventional food shops every so often, but try to get I'd say probably 60% of your food at least from organic sources. Am I right? Is that kind of
Yeah, I mean, Tesco,
mm,
you can get organic apples, you can get organic lemons, and certainly if you can't get organic lemons, use unwaxed lemons, but
oh,
make sure you scrub
mm,
them. That's the other thing, actually, to get pesticides off your fruit and
mm,
vegetables. You could use distilled white vinegar and is it lemon juice or bicarb of soda? You can mix that, put your fruits to soak in there for maybe 10 minutes or so, and
mm.
then you should be able to see the horrible gunge in the water when you remove the fruit.
Really? Wow.
Hmm.
Okay. Just say that one more time. Just one more.
Bicarbonate of soda
Mm,
with distilled white vinegar or distilled white vinegar and lemon juice. Put your fruit to soak for 10 to 15 minutes and remove and rinse to get rid of the pesticides that are on the fruit and vegetables.
okay.
You'd be surprised to see the
Great
color
advice.
of the water when you remove it.
Okay, I'm definitely going to try that. That's great advice. Yeah, thank you.
Let me know how you get on.
I will definitely. You know, because I think that was we had a chat before the interview. We were talking about the benefits of the detoxification products versus a rigorous exercise routine. The reason that I mentioned that was because although I'm a big believer in detox products, I'm also a believer in the human body as well. I think that the liver is very effective at removing a lot of potentially toxic products. Because if you think about it, people go out drinking every week and they're bombarding their bodies with alcohol, which is a very toxic, uh, I'd say,
Hmm.
chemical. The liver is extremely efficient at removing toxins from the body. And so I always was of that belief that the more you train and the more efficient your body is, because that's what happens when you exercise regularly, becomes more efficient. Your liver becomes more effective at removing toxins, and then there's things you can include like intermittent fasting and stuff like that, which again increases the immunity, and that's wonderful. That alone will increase your immune response, which basically means you'll be able to remove toxins more efficiently. But I never really took into consideration things like the heavy metals, which even if you have a very rigorous and healthy body, those heavy metals are still going to stick around for a long time, many years in some cases. So that's where the products zeolite, I always forget the name of that, zeolite, and products like that, but zeolite being the most popular one, comes in
Hmm.
to actually mop up those heavy metals.
Yes.
And the advice that you're giving is also really something I'm going to try myself with regards to removing pesticides. I've always been a fan of organic foods, but I'm not a fan of the price tag. So
Yes.
I'll probably go like the 60% organic as opposed to the 100%. I'll still buy some food I'm not supposed to buy just for convenience, but
Well,
it's definitely
let,
something to take into consideration.
let's face it, not everyone can afford to eat organic produce every day.
No, they can't.
So it is out of the price reach of many, especially when you're thinking of organic meats
Oh yeah,
being more expensive.
100%. Yeah, but I think we've covered everything really.
You know, I want to educate and empower everyone to get the best out of themselves. You know, we've only got the one life, the one body, and if we don't look after it, who else is going to? Let's face it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Pharmaceutical drugs only mask a symptom of ill health. It doesn't tackle it or treat the cause. So that's why I've gone down this route.
Okay. So can I ask you one more question? What's your daily protocol when it comes to taking these products?
Okay, daily. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, I start with the Vitality Stack. Now, the Vitality Stack includes the Protandem little yellow pill, NRF2, the one that deals with mitochondria dysfunction, NRF1. I take the Omega Plus, the Omega 3. I also take the Pro Plus, which is for gut health. Okay, so that's all of the from the same company. I also take my CBD oil. I take a super green powder, juice powder, with 44 organic, vegan, non-GMO ingredients. 44.
Wow.
You couldn't even find those in the shop.
No, you can't. No.
And
What's that called?
that is called super green juice powder, and that's again from revitalizethegoodinside.com. So the same site that you could access the Pure Body Extra Strength Zeolite is the same website for that
Okay.
green juice powder.
And is there anything else, or that's that?
And I take the protein powder.
So
Sorry,
again?
you're breaking up.
Yeah. Say that again.
Yeah, twice a week I will take the protein powder
Oh, protein. Yeah.
in a smoothie, which will normally consist of blueberries and banana,
Okay.
mixed with a little bit of almond milk and some water.
Okay. That's interesting, that is.
And the green juice powder does not contain any artificial sugars or refined sugars, zero sugar. The sweetness comes from the fruit that it contains.
Okay.
And the last thing I take is a Boost Stroke Fuel capsules.
And Boost, is that just any product, or?
That's from the same Revitalize Inside, yes.
Okay, wonderful.
They have a ton of good stuff there.
Okay, that's wonderful. As I'll keep the links at the bottom.
Okay.
And I think on that note, we'll call that a day. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you, Carol.
Thank you for having me on.
Thank you very much. And we'll probably do another one, probably on Facebook Live next time.
Yes.
Okay. Wonderful.
Or StreamYard.
Or StreamYard, exactly. Okay.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
All right, Jonathan. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of it's nearly midnight now, but enjoy the rest of the evening.
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.